Alright, guys. Thanks for joining me again, as always. I'm Hunter Wilkins, and we're in the forge here today making finishing up our knife. Actually, we're not in the forge, we're in the workshop because all I gotta do now is grind the rest of the knife out. Or not grind the knife, but the handle out. I'm just finishing up the handle basically. I'm just putting some final touch-ups on the blade. One thing I'll say is, if you watched the last episode, I forgot to temper the blade before I put the handle on. So I actually went through 3 tempering cycles with the handle on. And everything's fine. It expanded just a little bit, but it actually looks okay. I don't think there's any major issues with it, so we're just going to keep going with it. My other option would have been to pull the handle completely apart and try to salvage it if I could, but I didn't want to risk losing the material because it was the only material that I had at the moment. And so just so you know, as of now, none of me and my family, we do not have corona. So that's a good thing. Basically, I'm just trying to keep doing what I do on a regular basis. So far, work might be canceled, but I'm hoping that they pass that stimulus package, and then I don't have to worry about that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not freaking out. I did stock up a little bit on food. I didn't stock up on toilet paper. I told my wife, I said, if things get crazy with toilet paper, it's like we can make stuff work. I mean, it might get real nasty, but a washcloth can be washed. just saying. Just saying. Or napkins, whatever. But anyway, so I do have food. That was my main concern. I didn't go for all the canned stuff. I'm not worried about the power going off. So I just got the normal provisions that I would normally get, and I did buy some shotgun shells just for home defense in case it comes down to it. But I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I just it definitely has changed my perspective though a lot, and I think that on the other side of this, I'm going to take things a lot more seriously. Because at first this was just a big joke to me, just like swine flu and bird flu and SARS. I laughed at all of those. I laughed at Corona when I first heard about it, and now who's laughing? The doomsday preppers. Like, I told you all. That's what they're doing. So, that being said, I think that I might take the prepping lifestyle a little bit more seriously, and start stocking up on some things in case stuff like this does happen. You never know, and I have kids, so it'd be good to be prepared. All right, so I'm not going to bore you anymore with me blabbing on in my intro like I normally do for half of the episode, which I've noticed, and I apologize. So I'm going to try not to do that as much anymore. But here's the knife as it is right now. Still got a lot of handle material to move. That is a fatty handle. Needs to go on a diet. I did have to. Oops, you can't really see. I've got made some like wood putty basically with all the sawdust, which I vacuumed up most of it, but that's okay. With all the sawdust that I had, just to kind of pack in there. If you watch the other episode, there was a gap between the blade and like the very beginning of the handle. So I filled that. Hopefully that sets up pretty soon. I can go ahead and start grinding, and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to give that a few minutes to dry, and then we'll get started. So, alright. Let's make a knife. Part 3. Alright, so just one more point, and then we can get started on the grinding of the handle. My glue's set up, so my putty rather is set up, so we're good there. I'm gonna be sweating like an MFer in a minute because it is hot already, but I put on just an extra layer of protection just to keep the dust off me. this is a messy job. And that being said, don't forget your PPE. Because you know what? If you had had your PPE, you wouldn't be as worried about the freaking coronavirus, now would ya? I got mine. Alright. So let's get started here. Alright. Alrighty guys. So I'm liking where that's going. It's got a little bit more geometry to it now. It's not the most pretty, beautiful thing in the world, but I'm going to smooth it out a little bit with a softer belt. But it just has a better feel to it now. So that's where we're at. And it's still on the thicker side for a handle, but it feels good in my hand. So I don't want to keep tearing it down too much more. So I'm gonna after I'm done softening this up with a lighter grit belt, I'm gonna come into the blade here and set some bevels a little bit better. I just want to grind them up a little bit higher, just so you can see a little bit more through the forge scale. Then I'm gonna leave the forge finish on there. That's about that. So let's get going. So I might do that to the blade first. had some lines that got set in here from my belt when I was belt grinding, and I could not get them out, so I was just chasing them and chasing them. I chased them on the grinder, it didn't get any better, so I went into hand sanding and I got them mostly out. You can still see them a little bit in there going toward the pen. That's something I might try to refine at a later date, but for now I'm pretty happy with this. It's a short handle, but it's a cool looking knife, and I've got some form into the handle now, so it actually sits in your hand nice. It actually feels comfortable. Spin it around, throw it hand to hand, you know, knife stuff, but feels good. It's got good weight. I got it nice and sharp too. I just dropped it too when my camera was off, of course. So I don't know, I feel like maybe we could maybe we can cut something. So I don't really have anything too crazy to cut. I've got this copper pipe, you know, just to kind of test the edge. I take a couple whacks on that and then cut a piece of rope. Not the rope cut that, like, I don't know, that thing, the rope cut always freaks me out. I'm gonna hammer on this thing a couple times and check the edge. That is so cool. So there's nothing happened to the edge. Nothing. But you can see that's where I was chopping the copper. Now obviously copper is softer than steel, but for me to really whack at that thing and not have even the slightest deviation on my edge, that's a phenomenal feeling. Let's alright, here's some rope. Oop, I slipped. Okay. That took a little bit more effort than I would have liked. So I'm gonna fine tune that edge a little bit more. All I did honestly was grind it until I got a nice little berg along the edge, and I stropped it. So that could definitely be refined a bit more. I've got pretty good geometry, but it's a little thick. Might have to take that down a little bit, but overall I'm pleased with this. This is, again, my first full-tang knife that I've ever made, and it's the first knife that I've made in about, what did I say, three years. So I'm pretty stoked. I worked on this for three days overall. There's 3 weekends. I'm gonna call it finished at this point. There might be a couple of things I touch up, like I said, like on that edge. Might do that, but overall it will cut. It will chop copper without bending the edge. So I'm cool with it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's got a nice little stubby handle. Got some nice grooving in here though for the fingers. Flare at the back. I really like this. I don't even know what kind of knife to really call it, but I like it. I don't know if I want to sell it. If anybody is interested in buying this, please leave a comment below or direct message me on Instagram. I'll come up with a price. As of right now, I'm not gonna say anything as far as price goes. I don't really even want to sell this, but I will if anybody would be interested. So that's that. This is the knife first full-tang knife I've ever made. First knife I've done in 3 years. Very, very simple design. No bolsters or anything crazy. Next time we'll get a little crazier with stuff like that. But for this build, I'm happy to be able to call it finished, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed the other videos in this series. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Check me out on Instagram, check me out on Patreon. And that's it. Thank you for watching once again. We'll have some other fun stuff coming up soon. Gonna make some more tongs. Gonna do like a whole episode on tongs. Hopefully make more than one pair, because I really need some bolt tongs and stuff like that. So we'll do that, and then once those are done, we'll probably start working on another knife. We'll see you in the next video.